We'd like to welcome Patrick Cantlay to the interview room here at historic East Lake Golf Club. Patrick, just a fantastic season. Wrapped up today. You've got wins at the Zozo Championship, Memorial Tournament, BMW Championship, now the Tour Championship, and you're the 2021 FedEx Cup champion. What a season, what a day here at East Lake. Maybe just some opening comments.
Yeah, it was fantastic. As good as it felt to feel like I slept on the lead for 2 weeks straight, darn near, it feels good to not, necessarily have a lead anymore and have it be done and closed out. It was a long year. I thought I can barely remember, when it started. A lot of events, and I'm very tired after. It feels like, just a ton of golf and a ton of pressure golf, but I'm very grateful and happy to be here, and I'm really proud of myself for staying in the moment and delivering when it counted.
Great. Media members, most of you know the drill by now. It's been a long season for everyone, but we'll put your name and outlet in the chat, and we'll go in order of your questions. Obviously, go on camera for your questions if possible, and go off when you're done. And if possible, stay on mute while you're listening to question and answer from other media members. So without further ado, let's start with Doug Ferguson, Associated Press.
Patrick, nice playing today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just to get into some details, I mean, you seem to miss a lot of shots to the right today, and you come to 18 with a one-shot lead and deliver probably your best of the day. I wonder if you could talk about the pressure there and the 6 iron to the 18th, which is another money shot. Trying to mute me already, or what?
If I could, I would. No, I thought I played really well. I don't mind right misses. I mind left misses, and I don't feel like I had very many of those today. I thought I did a good job of keeping the ball in front of me. I drove the ball very well all day. Didn't hit a good shot on the tee on 17, but actually made a really nice bogey, to be honest. And then hit 2 just absolutely perfect golf shots into the 18th hole. And under the gun, I thought it was great.
Secondly, keep talking about how big it was to stay in the present. Why is that so hard?
Well, it's even harder this week given you start so ahead. And tournaments in general just don't feel like that. You don't feel like that on Thursday. And I think, you can ask the guys, but I feel like if you have that idea of you are the person chasing, it's easy to stay in the moment. The sense of urgency is right there. I need to make birdies right now, and so it makes it very easy to be in the moment because you have to be. You can't get ahead because you're running out of holes, and so given that I started ahead, it's just a totally different mindset. So being able to stay present and kind of give myself that sense of urgency, or give myself, feeling like I need to make birdies or I need to hit quality shots now. I think that was really key for me. I try to do a good job of that every week, but this week it was even more important.
Okay, next we'll go to Steve DeMeglio, USA Today.
Patrick, does it carry more weight the fact that you beat Rahm and Thomas, Zozo, Morikawa Memorial, DeChambeau last week, and now Rahm again? Does that carry some more weight with you?
I'm not sure. I beat everybody in the field those weeks. They just happened to be closest to me. But they're obviously great players, and it's no surprise that some of the battles I've had have been with some of the best players in the world this year. And I think it's really fun. It's exactly why I play golf. I play golf so I can be in those moments against the best players in the world. It's why I practice so hard. It's why I'm in love with the game, because it's that great vehicle for competition. And it maybe makes it a little sweeter knowing that the guys I played against are the best players in the world.
And what was the best putt you hit today, the most meaningful one, besides the last one for $15 million?
Thankfully, that one was short. I thought the bogey putt, given the situation I was in on 17, a putt that broke a decent amount. I thought that was maybe the best one I hit all day. I thought, I just like I tried to all week. I just tried to focus and lock in. And, that was, it was looking like it may be a bigger swing than just one shot. And so being able to take that one shot advantage to the last hole was huge.
Thank you, sir.
All right, next we'll go to Bob Herrick, ESPN.com.
I can't hear you.
I think we can hear you, Bob. Bob, we'll come back to you if you want. You can just type your question in the chat. I'll be happy to ask. I can't hear you either. So let's go to Rex Hogger, Golf Channel.
Oh, please let me get this right. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, thank God. I wanted to follow up on 18. What was the iron there and kind of your thought process going in for your second shot?
That was a 6-iron, and drove it down there in the perfect spot. And it's sitting on a little bit of a downslope. I had 203 to the front, I think 218 to the hole, and I was really trying to get very close to that front number. I think we were trying to hit it about 205, which, given the downhill lie and the downwind, it was maybe just a little off of a 6-iron. And given where John was, I knew I had to hit a good one. I was expecting him to make a 3 from there. Felt like a match play situation. You got to expect your opponent to make, and it just came off perfect. I hit a little draw out there, just a little off the number, or off a full number, and it landed in the perfect spot. It was the best shot I hit all week.
And I think Mike Tirico asked you this in the ceremony, but I'm curious, of the injuries and everything else you've gone through in recent years, how has that impacted you as a player and a person?
I think the biggest thing it's done for me is it's given me great perspective. I think for a long time, everything just went great. Growing up, I felt like I got better and better at golf, and life got better and better. And then, it got as bad as it could have been. I felt as low as it could have been for a little while. And so coming out on the other side of that, I feel like I am a better person, having gone through those dark days. But it gives me great perspective, and it makes me very grateful to be in the position that I am in today, because it wasn't always a sure thing. I was very close to going back to school and putting golf behind me. And so I'm just very grateful to be where I am, and I'm so satisfied with all the hard work paying off.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go to Steve Hummer, the AJC.
Yeah, I guess among the other awards you got is a Falcons jersey with Patty Ice across it. I was actually talking to Matt Ryan last week, and he mentioned the two of you have met in passing, but I don't know the circumstances of that. And could you tell me that? And he's not going to sue you, by the way, for trademark infringement. But could you tell me kind of what that nickname means to you now?
I met Matt at Shady Canyon, which is a place I practice in California, and I think our rounds had started at similar times, and we had lunch after. He was playing with a few buddies of mine, and the nickname kind of came out of nowhere from my seat. Nothing I expected. I heard it last week. It started to gain traction in the playoff, and by the end, lots of people were yelling it out in the playoff. And then this week, right from the first day, everyone was it felt like everyone was in my corner, and I heard it from all over. And so, to me, it just means cool under pressure, and I think that suits my personality really well. And so I like it. I think it's a good nickname, and I appreciate everyone being in my corner. It means a lot.
All right, I'm going to do my best Bob Herrick impression now. Patrick, if you weren't thinking about the money, do you recall early in your career, maybe when you were aware of how much prize money you were playing for and how much that might have mattered at that time?
Yeah, definitely. When I didn't have status, I think we were still we may have even been working off money the first events I played. I can't remember when we went off FedEx Cup points. But yeah, I remember I made one of my first big checks on tour as a pro was T9 at Pebble Beach, maybe in 2013 or 2014. And yeah, it meant a lot. I think, I came out as an amateur, or I didn't come out, but, I was an amateur and played a bunch of tour events, and I think somewhere along the line that summer I had played well, and somewhere along the line that summer I saw an article, or someone sent me an article that said, if you were a pro this summer, you would have made $400,000 or something like that. And it felt very surreal at the time. And it, people asked me if I felt like I'd missed out on that money, and I felt like I was still an amateur, so I was never playing for any money, so I didn't lose out on any money. This week, as silly as it sounds, the money is not what's really important for me. The money is not what drives me to play this game. Winning golf tournaments, playing golf under pressure, and hitting quality golf shots under the gun. I mean, that's why I practice, and that's why I've practiced my whole life, and that's the best feeling in the world, is winning golf tournaments for me. And so, the money is just a consequence of that. But I am fortunate. I have a really good partner in Goldman Sachs, and I'm sure we will find a good investment for it.
Okay. Next, let's go to Daniel Rappaport, Golf Digest.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm not sure if I believe that this question has been asked because I've been in and out, but going back to the time when you were struggling with your back, you talked about those struggles, but I'm curious about your belief in those things. Was there ever a moment
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm curious if there was about your belief in those moments. Was there ever a moment or a stretch where you thought, hey, maybe this actually isn't going to work. Maybe I need to do something else?
Not really. I always had a lot of self-belief in my golfing ability, and I feel like that carried me through that time. I'll tell a funny story and maybe throw him under the bus in the process, but Dr. Greg Rose is a great friend of mine. He's helped me a ton, and when I was dealing with my back injury, he definitely helped me find the right people and helped analyze my swing to get the right swing changes to put less stress on my back, and he's done so much for me, Greg over at TPI. But there was a funny moment. I had gone to the spine doctor, and the spine doctor, I'd already been out 2 years, and the spine doctor told me, I think he said, what hurts your back? And I said, as the 15th time I've seen him, I said, Doc, golf hurts my back. And he goes, what makes it feel better? I'm like, well, if I don't play golf, I'm pretty okay. I could do a desk job. And Doc says, I don't think you should play any golf for a while. I'd already been out 18 months or 2 years. And I said, how long? And he said, maybe a year. And he was dead serious. And so that really shocked me, and I was scared. But he said, take a year off from golf. See how you feel after a year. Don't touch a club, don't putt, don't do anything if that's what hurts it. Because I've already done all the things I can do to help you get through this while you're playing golf. It was a tough pill to swallow. I went down to Greg Rose and I said, Greg, what do you think? Doc Watkins is saying you need to take a year off from golf completely. And Greg said, oh no, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I wouldn't take that long off. You're going to lose your proprioception. You won't be able to come back and play golf. And I thought about it a long time with my team. We ultimately came to the conclusion that we had tried everything under the sun, so we might as well listen to old Dr. Watkins and take a year off. And I told Greg at the time, I said, Doc, I'm going to take a year off from golf. I'm not going to do anything. If I can get my back healthy, I'm not worried about the golf. So don't worry about my proprioception. I'm going to be fine. I just got to get healthy. And, it worked out okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Doug Ferguson, Associated Press.
Yeah, Ben, I'm curious, I may be mistaken here, but is this your first win on Bermuda? And of course, I know you've had limited experience, but it hasn't treated good y'all that well. What does it say about your gain of satisfaction of taking it here?
Yeah. I think Bermuda is a surface that I am still learning and still trying to get as comfortable as I do feel on Poana and Bentgrass. This golf course is very difficult, especially if you are playing out of the rough, and especially if you do get those cross-grain putts because there's so much slope. It has taken me a while to adjust, but I feel like living in Florida and exerting some patience has helped me on Bermuda. And this week, I definitely felt way more comfortable around this golf course than I have in previous years because my record up until this year has been poor on this golf course.
And then one last thing, you talked to start of the playoffs, even at the start of the week, about being in favor with this format. And winning might not change your opinion on that. That's okay. I'm just curious if you ever worry about opinions such as this affecting your attitude, maybe not this week, but maybe at the start of the month.
I think that I am still not a fan of this format. I don't think it's a good format. I don't like the fact that somebody else, you'll have to tell me somebody else shot the lowest score this week, and they would have won the Tour Championship in years past. I probably wouldn't have won. Maybe John would have won, or maybe Kevin Na. Tied with Kevin Na. So they would have played off, and if John wins the playoff, then I wouldn't have won. Fortunately, that's not the case. And so even in a format I don't like, it actually was to my benefit this week. For that, I'm very thankful. But I don't think it affects my ability to hit good golf shots. I mean, that's really what it is. It's me being able to be objective about whether I like the format or think the format's fair or whatever it is. It's still, you got to get the golf ball in the hole. And so when the gun goes off, it doesn't matter if I like the format, I don't like the format. I just got to get the golf ball in the hole, and I did a great job of that this week. And that's how you count it at the end. Is just who got the ball in the hole.
Okay, Steve DeMeglio, USA Today.
Patrick, just wondering what's your plan for the next 2 weeks?
I'm headed to California, and Xander and I are going to take a trip up to Napa for a couple days, take some time off, and then I have a really good friend of mine's getting married in San Diego on the weekend, so I'll be there, and then I'll go back to Florida and get ready for the Ryder Cup.
You're not going to go to Whistling Straits beforehand?
I think there's a team practice next weekend, I believe, and so I will go to that. That'll be after the wedding.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Michael Bamberger, golf.com.
Thank you very much. Patrick, I know your mind wasn't on this at all, but what do you think today was like for the ordinary golf fan switching back and forth between the Solheim Cup and what you guys were doing in East Lake?
Yeah, I think it was, it had to be compelling stuff. I mean, it was close. It felt compelling to me being out there. John and I were very close all day. I don't know if we ever got more than a couple shots apart, and I wasn't able to, really put the pedal down when I could have. There were some putts that I didn't make in the middle of the round where I could have maybe myself, and so it was a nail biter all the way to the end. I think the ladies played a little better today. They're close. They're maybe within a couple points, and so I'll be rooting for them to hopefully pull it out.
Thank you very much. Okay, Adam Schupak with Golf Week.
Hey, Patrick. What subject, what were you going to major in if you went back to school?
I went to 2 years at UCLA. I was going to be a history major, but I never got, after turning pro, I didn't get down that road far enough. I'm sure I would have went back, and if I didn't switch over into biz econ, I would have stayed a history major.
Okay. And given that, as Doug brought up, if there'd been a straight 72-hole aggregate tournament, John Rahm would have beaten you or been in a playoff to win a title. How do you think today should help decide Player of the Year and honors such as that?
Yeah, I try not to give an opinion unless I've thought much about it. If I gave you an opinion right now, it'd be very off the cuff. I haven't given it enough thought. John obviously has played very well this year. He's won a major, won it in very exciting fashion, making those putts on the last 2 holes. And then I'm not sure how you count the Memorial Tournament. He played amazing golf there. So fortunately, it's not up to me. I don't have to be the arbiter. But we will see. I think this year was interesting because there wasn't necessarily a clear-cut person. There were so many guys that played that won tournaments. I think up until last week, nobody had won more than twice, and there were 7 people that had won twice. So we'll see.
Do you think is too much placed on the majors when deciding those type of things?
I'm not sure. Golf places a lot of emphasis on the majors, and so this we'll see. This year will be whoever wins. We'll find out the answer to that a little bit. We'll see how much those majors really mean. So it's not up to me, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, Patrick, thanks.
Okay, let's do 2 more and wrap it up. We'll go to Steve Hummer, AJC, and then we'll wrap it up with Doug Ferguson after that.
Yeah, Patrick, tell us what after the traumatic 17th, what was going through your head as you were on the tee in 18 before you hit what your longest drive of the week, maybe your straightest drive of the week, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought, given the predicament I was in, still keeping a 1-shot lead going in 18 was a small victory, if you could call it that. And 18's a hole that I like. It's a right to left hole, and I hit a draw most comfortably. And I timed up 2 really nice draws when it mattered, and I hit a great drive right in the middle of the fairway, and then I hit a great 6-iron, the perfect number. And under the gun to hit your irons the number that you want to is really indicative of being in control of your game. And so I am really proud of the way I played the 18th hole, and I knew that if I gave I knew that I needed to give myself a chance at eagle because John is such a good player that I kept telling myself that I needed to expect him to make 3 there. And that's what was going through my brain.
Okay, wrap us up, Doug.
Patrick, I swear this isn't a good time to be asking how many pin points you got out of this week, but kind of along those lines. There's a lot of people in the game who recognize your ability and that you have a decent future in the game, all that good stuff. But how much do you think your recognition for the way you play, I don't want to call it star power, but it's kind of like that. How much has that risen, do you think, in the last month? And have you noticed it yourself? And does it mean anything?
That's a good question. No surprise from you, Doug. I'm not sure. I will tell you, I can tell after last week, after the playoff, that it felt like more people were on my side, and that feels great. And so maybe the nickname is helping out with that a little bit because it lets me be who I am. But I've always said that I'm going to let my golf clubs do the talking, and I'm going to put all my energy into playing the best golf I can and let everything else take care of itself. I did that this week, and so if I keep playing golf like this, I'll be hard to ignore.
Did you get any sense in the leading up to this month as you were playing that anyone actually knew who you were? Beyond the obvious.
I think the guys that I play with, I think the guys on tour know who I am, and I think they know the kind of golf that I play. And so, the respect that I get from those guys and being able to compete against those guys, that's why I do what I do. And so I'm not going to get too caught up in all the other stuff. But I will tell you, I'm very excited to have a lot of those guys on my side in a couple weeks in the next event I play. I'm very much looking forward to the Ryder Cup.
Sorry for the questions.
Okay. Patrick Cantlay, 2021 FedEx Cup champion. Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you.